The world's a dangerous place. Get the industry's original and most trusted laser sighting system from Crimson Trace. A laser and light systems will enhance your effectiveness and help keep you and your family out of harm's way.
Broadcasting nationwide, this is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of Gun Talk. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Or reach out to us via email at tom@guntalk.com. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
Oh, man, 2 hours down, actually 1.5 to go because we'll do the after show here. And we're just having a ball. We got lots of people calling in, lots of good comments, questions, throwing the question out there. Somebody called in, and I already understand. People are already probably posting. That nutbar Gresham, what a traitor. He says that the Second Amendment doesn't give us the right to own guns. No, that's not what I said. We had somebody said that the Second Amendment is all we need to prevent gun confiscation. And my point was, no, I don't think that's correct. I think we can't sit back and say, we have the Second Amendment, and that's enough. Because it clearly isn't. We have the Second Amendment, and they are confiscating guns. So just saying, well, we have the Second Amendment, and that takes care of it, is a losing proposition. We lose when that's all we have. You need more than one arrow in your quiver. You need more than one round in your magazine. You need more than one argument. You need more than one tactic. You need better strategy. You need to try something that works. And just standing up and waving around the Second Amendment does not work if you want to stop the gun grabbers from grabbing guns. That's my point. I guess what I'm trying to do is get people to think a little bit more about this and think, oh, this thing I'm saying, it sounds so good to me. It actually doesn't mean anything. We got the Second Amendment. That protects us. No, it actually doesn't. What are you doing to protect the Second Amendment? Huh? Well, the Constitution doesn't mean anything if we don't protect it. It just goes away. Because there are people always trying to take it away. There are people trying to get rid of the Second Amendment all the time. They chip away, chip away, chip away, chip away. So I guess my point is this. We have to have better strategies than just standing up and saying we have the Second Amendment. We have to have smart lawyers, and we do. But more than that, we have to fund smart lawyers, which most of us don't. Most of us gun owners ride in the wagon and let a few pull the wagon for us. Whether you're belonging to, joining various gun rights organizations, or actually making real, no kidding, cash contributions. Because that's, no bucks, no Buck Rogers. You heard that? No bucks, no lawsuits. No wins in court. Simply how it works. So I'm just trying to get folks to stop giving us the platitudes of we have the Second Amendment and that's all we need. Well, actually, I think we need more than that. We need work, because that's what supports the Second Amendment. Now, talking about working, you know about the True Squad. Created the True Squad years ago. If you're not a member, please join. Go to guntalk.com. You can join the True Squad there. It's free. All that means is you're going to get a newsletter once a month from me. Email newsletter. You can unsubscribe from it anytime you want. But people who have volunteered for the True Squad are people who have said, no more. I'm not going to just shrug. I'm not going to just say that's just the way it is. I'm going to speak up. And we have all these great successes. And I got a great email from Jeff this week. He said, hey, I'm a True Squad member. I spoke up. We scored. So I said, hey, Jeff, would you come on the show and talk to me about this? So he did. He's here right now. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing great, Tom. How are you doing?
I'm good. And I've got to tell you, I purposely am using your first name. It's your call whether or not you want to tell people who you are.
All right, appreciate that.
Okay. So tell me what happened. First of all, where are you located?
I'm actually in Mansfield, Ohio.
Okay, Mansfield, Ohio. So tell me the story. What did you see?
Well, one of the local communities there, they have a fairly large park there that, a lot of kids come through there for soccer, and, they have other sports arenas there.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you need to use the facilities, there's this sign that's posted right there that says, pursuant to the Ohio Revised Code, no person shall knowingly possess, have under a person's control, convey, or attempt to convey a deadly weapon or dangerous ordinance on these premises. And I guess that was the case when the concealed carry laws were first passed in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2008, they passed Senate Bill 184, which essentially nullified that for the buildings that are used primarily for restrooms and shelter areas.
Oh, okay.
So knowing that, I sent a letter to the law director in the city there, and essentially explained to them that I didn't feel that they were trying to had any malicious intent here as far as keeping the signs still on the buildings. I thought it was definitely an oversight, and asked him to essentially review the current law and take action, and which they really did. They reviewed the law, sent me a letter back, and said that they agreed with me that the restrooms should be exempted from the signage, and they actually took them down and sent letters to the mayor and the chief of police and the safety director to let them know that the current law is in effect, and essentially cut the signs off and notified them that they don't need to come after anybody they may happen to be carrying in those facilities. So, all
right. So you sent one letter to the law director. He looks at it and says, "Wow," and you reference the law. And he said, "Look, that was the law then. I understand how you could be confused with that. Here's the law now. These signs are actually up, and they're not supposed to be." He looked at it and says, "Yeah, you're right." Took down the signs and notified the police and the mayor and said, "This is why it is actually legal for people to carry into the bathrooms." That's a huge score, man.
Yep, I really was happy with it. I didn't expect it to happen that easily, but it definitely did. So,
sometimes it does. Now, let me ask you, you're a Truth Squad member.
Yes.
The idea of never letting a lie left unchallenged, was that going through your head on this? Yes.
Every time I walk up to those doors and see that sign, it just would eat at me, and eventually I just had to sit down and write the letter. It's just we got to push back right now. So.
You got to push back. It's that old line that all that evil needs to succeed is for good men to do nothing, and as long as you did nothing, the signs stayed up. So as soon as you said something, the signs came down. I mean, I got to send you a great big gun talk attaboy on that one. But I guess I know the answer, but what would your message be to other Truth Squad members on this?
Just anytime you see something that isn't the way it ought to be, you got to speak up.
There it is. Jeff, congratulations. Well done. Now you know what it is. Now you know that this works. The next time, you're not going to wait several times. The first time you see it, you're going to react because now you know you got the power, right?
Exactly, Tom.
Well, tell you what, go get them and send us a note on the next one. Let me know how it works out, okay?
All right, Tom. Take care.
All right, you too. Now, that's the Truth Squad. That's the deal. And I don't care if it's a PSA that's really anti-gun, and you call the station and get it taken off. You simply have to challenge every lie, because here is a truth I know. Here's the truth. A lie that is left unchallenged becomes the truth, because it's the only opinion that's out there. If nobody comes back and says, "No, that's not right," then everybody goes, "Well, nobody's challenging it, so it must be true." And they say it over and over again. A gun in the home is 43 times more likely to kill a member of the family than a bad guy. Well, it's not true. But they say it so often, people start to think it is. So you have to challenge it every single time. When they say, "Well, if you have a gun, it's just going to be taken away from you and used against you." Really? It's not true. It almost never happens. Challenge them to show you where it's happened. Speak up. That's what Truth Squad is all about. Our deal is we never let a lie go unchallenged. All right. Open lines now, 866-TALK-GUN. Call me right now.
No matter what gun you have, you want it to hit harder, shoot faster and flatter, and be more accurate. You get all that with the ammunition from Double Tap. Double Tap's experts select the best bullets, then load them to higher velocities while keeping safe pressures. Shoot small groups. Shoot farther. Use custom hunting loads in your handgun or rifle. Even fire 2 projectiles with one shot. DoubleTapAmmo.com. That's DoubleTapAmmo.com.
Hi, I'm Michael Bain. You know I hate cleaning guns, so anything that makes that job faster and easier is definitely a plus. And that's where Bore Tips come in. These reusable, lint-free cleaning swabs make cleaning a breeze. And the tighter-fitting Bore Tips do a better job on barrels than cotton mops or patches. Hey, it's a dirty job. Let Bore Tips help. To find a dealer, visit BoreTips.com.
You know the name Walther is a legendary brand, but do you know the new Walther? The new Walther has introduced 3 new precision handguns. The smooth PPQ M2 is a breakthrough in ergonomics and trigger pull. The tough PPX is a workhorse at a value price. The cool, iconic PPK S22 blends classic PPK with the fun of the economical 22 LR. There is a lot going on at the new Walther. Visit us at WaltherArms.com. Walther, at your favorite retailer.
Looking for shooting instruction but don't know where to go? Well, we have it, and you can access hours of training and safety videos, which you can watch on your home computer. On GunTalkTV.com, we have top competitive shooters, the best in self-defense trainers, and folks who have hunted all over the world, helping you learn which gun to buy, how to use it, how to store it safely, and everything else you need to be a safe and competent shooter. We also have gun makers showing off their newest rifles, shotguns, and handguns. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran shooter or a complete beginner. You'll find what you need at GunTalkTV.com. You can check it out for free, and you can get full access for only $5.95 a month. That gives you unlimited access to hundreds of videos, and we're adding more all the time. Run the videos over and over to make sure you understand what's being said. Skip around. You're in control. Get smarter, shoot better. Visit GunTalkTV.com.
Accurate, powerful, consistent. At Double Tap Ammunition, we offer 364 loads in 83 calibers that give you exactly what you've been looking for. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
Thanks for being one of the 100 million gun owners in America who support Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Even if you don't want to be on the air, you can still email Tom with your questions or concerns at tom@guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk.
I was talking earlier about the testing we were doing out at the range this week, shooting video for the Gun Talk television show, which the new season starts in July. And we're shooting through walls, multiple walls, sheetrock, T111 exterior, insulation, water jugs, that type of thing. There were a couple of handgun loads that were really impressive. Out of a 380, a little Keltec. I can't remember if it was the Keltec or the LCP. But it was a little, 3-inch barrel, nothing barrel gun. We used the double tap ammo, the 380 ACP, using 80 grain Barnes TAC XP bullet. Holy smoke. We're talking some really serious penetration in water. This is going to sound stupid. I'm not sure that there's much, if any, difference really between that and a 9mm. It was impressive. The other load that really got everybody's attention was another double tap ammo, their equalizer load, which they're famous for. The name double tap actually, I think, probably comes from that, where they load 2 projectiles in each cartridge. We were shooting 45 ACP. Yeah, because it was 255 grains of bullet projectile coming out, Two come out, and at about 7 yards, you basically get one hole. And then you could see them spread out, and you're getting 2 holes in the second wall and 2 holes in the third wall, but they're still only 3 or 4 inches apart, really holding together. And basically, with each pull of the trigger, you shoot the bad guy twice. Very cool stuff. If you haven't checked out Double Tap Ammo, it's doubletapammo.net. Very cool stuff over there. Line 1, Jared is in Nevada. Jared, thank you for your patience. You got a comment on our constitutional rights.
Right. Well, I agree totally with you and the fact that people need to, step up and, say what's right. But people got to remember that the law that we have is to protect us from a tyrannical government, such as Great Britain and such, Back in the day, that's why we have a Constitution. That's why it was written for us. It is to protect us against a government takeover or government such things like that. And also, it is right that, people need to respect and, something that everybody needs to, like you said, stand up, take action in and make a difference. We can't just, like you said, one lie stands up as long as it's not attacked with the truth or challenged.
Let me ask you a hard question here, okay, because this is one that I'm struggling with. In Connecticut, we've got, call it 100,000 people who have refused to register their modern sporting rifles. These are just hunting rifles. They're AR-15s, but they're hunting rifles or self-defense guns. They have refused. That is a felony there. The state police are saying we're going to go confiscate these guns. There will be some people there who say, I am not going to comply and I am not going to get, on the train and go to the death camps with you because this is how this stuff starts. Some of them are going to start shooting police officers.
Right.
Done deal. Some of them are going to start shooting police officers here. If the police come and basically massacre a family with SWAT teams kicking in the doors, doing all that stuff, people are going to start shooting back or they're going to start shooting as a first step. And I just don't think the politicians in Connecticut have any concept of what they're dealing with. How does this strike you?
Well, I'll give you my take on it. My take is this, there's no reason for gun registration ever. That is the first step to taking our guns away. It's something that, I see, just as like Hitler did, first was registration, then the confiscation, like you said, going to death camps and such. Yes, I think that people will start shooting the cops, and that is bad. Politics, people need to be realizing this is our right. It was given to us from our forefathers, and that they need to protect their right to own any kind of gun. I don't care if they want a howitzer as long as they're law-abiding citizens and they use it in the correct manner. As long
as you don't hurt anybody with it, you ought to be able to own it. It really is.
You know what I mean? Whatever you want.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page here, Jared. Listen, I appreciate. I've got to keep running here. Look, I appreciate your call and thank you for going along with me on that, what I consider to be a difficult question. Line 3, Greg's with us in Moscow, Idaho. Hello, Greg.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
I just had a question, and kind of goes along with what you're talking with gun confiscation. I was looking at different AR rifles, and I know you've talked about this before. There's many to choose from. I had seen one that was made by DPMS Arms called a Sporticle, which looked a little different. It did not have a forward assist or dust cover.
Mm-hmm. A little less expensive.
A little less expensive, and I just don't know anything about it. Is it, what am I giving up with that? And
I think you figured it out. You're giving out a dust cover, and you're giving up a forward assist. Is the forward assist important? It depends on who you ask. The original M16s did not have them, and by putting them on, you make a rifle heavier, a little bit, tiny bit. I will tell you this. If it's me, I'm going to go ahead and get the forward assist, and I'm really going to get the dust cover because I think it's cool. I think it's important to have a dust cover if you're out working in nasty areas and that kind of thing. If you're just going to go to the range and shoot and have a little fun, it's not something you got to bet your life on. Save a little money, leave those things off.
And along with that, I am still a little confused on the, there's like a direct gas impingement and I'm not sure
or
I'm saying
piston.
that right.
Yeah, no, you're right. You got it exactly right. Direct gas impingement, that's the original design, less expensive, and a piston design, which is more expensive. It shoots cooler and cleaner. Here's how it breaks down. Just pick some raw numbers. The direct gas impingement will probably go for 1,000 rounds without really needing to clean it. The piston gun will probably run 3 or 4 times that many rounds through it before it starts to gum up and slow down. In a firefight, that might be important. Otherwise, it may not be important. So you can save money by going to direct gas impingement instead of going to a piston. But, the piston, you don't have to clean it as often. So it's just trade-offs. Once again, we pay our money and we take our choices here.
Well, great. I appreciate your help with that.
Absolutely. Thank you for calling. David's on 4 in North Dakota. Hello, David.
Hello. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. Do you have an M1 or are you looking for one?
I have one. It's circa 1950-something. We don't know for certain.
Okay.
It has a 2-piece wooden stock. A small piece of it fits over the barrel above it, and maybe I just saw this in a dream or some Hollywood movie, but I could have sworn that somebody out there makes a piece to replace that with a piece that has a Picatinny rail on it, to where you could mount, say, a hologram scope or something like that.
Yep. As a matter of fact, you are right. I just pulled up a search engine on the web, put in a Picatinny rail M1 carbine, and I got a whole bunch of accessories that are available. Auto Ordnance has them. Some others have them. 2-inch accessory rail. If you will just pull up an internet web search and put in exactly that, Picatinny rail M1 carbine, you will land on so many choices it'll knock you out. Or, you know what? You could just go to the Brownells website, BROWNELLS.com, Brownells.com. Brownells has everything.
Tom Gresham's Gun Talk is broadcast nationwide every Sunday. If you can't hear Gun Talk where you live, call your local talk format station and clue them in on Gun Talk. Stay tuned. We're coming right back. Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, you can call me right now. Just call 1-866-825-5486. Too many numbers? Well, how about this way? Just dial 1 Tom Talk Gun, and that'll get you in there. If you got a question, a comment, you think I'm full of beans, hey, I've heard it before. Call me. Let me know. It'll be okay. By the way, I'm Tom Gresham. The show is Gun Talk, guntalk.com. On YouTube, you can look for our channel there. We have hundreds of videos, gun videos, on YouTube. Just look for Gun Talk Media over there. Check out the First Person Defender series if you have not looked at that. Real world, really good information about concealed carry and self-defense. Sometimes using a gun, sometimes not. The goal, of course, is to never have to. If you make good choices, chances are you may not have to. Although I'm looking at a story here out of Louisville. Police are searching for a group of teens accused of several violent and rampaging incidents in downtown Louisville. A group of 10 to 15 male teenagers assaulting people. Kind of gives you a reason to maybe examine your choices on a lot of different things. Facing 10 to 15 possible attackers. By the way, we talk about cops a lot here, and yeah, there are a lot of stories about cops, kind of going off the deep end when it comes to guns. I heard a good story the other day. In Louisiana, it's interesting. The law is if you have a concealed carry permit, you cannot carry when you're in a parade, but you can carry when you're at a parade. I know. Some of the officers don't understand the difference because the law says you can't carry in a parade, but you can carry as a spectator. But there was a fellow who was open carrying at a parade. This is around Mardi Gras time. And the police officer sees him over there walking around open carrying. And, we've talked a lot about don't cop an attitude. Don't be full of yourself, especially if you're doing the open carry thing. So the officer goes over and says, "Sir, why are you carrying you got the gun out there?" He said, "Well, it's my right. I can do that." I said, "Well, I understand that, but you can't carry here." "Yeah, you can. I looked up the law. I'm my right. All right." The officer says, "Yeah, but if you turn around and look behind you, that building right behind you, that's a school. And you're inside the 1,000-foot gun-free school zone." And the guy goes, "Ooh." So the officer says, "So I tell you what, you can go put that gun back in your car, or you can go get in my car. Your choice." Now, I think that's a very reasoned, responsible approach by the officer. "Sir, if you just go put that away, we won't have any problems. You can enjoy the parade. We'll all be good here." By the way, in Louisiana, at least, in some states, you can carry within that 1,000-foot school zone with a carry permit if it's concealed. So another good reason to get the permit. People say, "I'm not going to get the permit." Well, your choice. I'm just telling you, there sometimes are good reasons for doing that. Line 2, Connor's with us out of Ohio. Something about how do police respond to a call of a man with a gun? Hey, Connor, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. What do you think?
This past summer, my brother and I, we live in a little village. It's unincorporated. And there's some drug houses out here. And people know that they deal drugs. Mm-hmm. And, people vandalize a lot of other people's stuff out here. So we decided, you know what, we're going to start patrolling. So we put our gear on. Brother's carrying his AR with his pistol. I'm carrying my AK with my pistol. Everything open carry. One of the local residents tells the local sheriff's office. Sheriff says, "Are they on your property shooting? Are they on your property destroying something?" She said, "No." Well, the local sheriff said they had the legal right in the state of Ohio to do what they're doing.
Really?
Yes.
All righty. Well, now I got to ask you, okay? Because you said you say brother. You and your brother are patrolling. Yeah.
Yes. What? And I can tell you right now, the traffic to those houses has been cut down by 3/4.
Now, what are you doing? When you're patrolling, what are you doing? Walking up and down the street in front of these drug houses?
We just walk the entire town down every street.
Son of a gun.
In plain view.
Does that sheriff have to run for re-election?
Yes, he will, and I will vote for him again.
It sounds like it might be time to write a check and a contribution to his campaign and get some other gun owners to do that. That's very interesting. Listen, I appreciate that call, Connor. Fascinating. Interesting stuff. Mike, Oklahoma City, line 1. How you doing, Mike?
Pretty good, Tom. How are you?
Well, now, do you have one of these Coonan 1911s and 357 mag?
No, I recently just saw one at a gun store, and I've handled it. I've always been interested in it, and was just wondering what you thought about it. Maybe I'll pull the trigger and buy one.
I think, so to speak, I think they're pretty cool. I've not owned one. Look, the 357 Magnum is a great cartridge. I guess I was trying to think. I don't think I have ever had a bad report on that gun. Because if it didn't work, people would be calling and saying, I had one of those things and it never would feed. It wouldn't. I don't think I've ever heard a bad report on it. So, now you could go a different way. You could go with a 10 millimeter, which is going to get you roughly the same kind of power. But having a 357 Magnum, it's different. So, if that winds your crank up, I'd say go buy the darn thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Also, 357 is a little cheaper than 10 millimeter. That was another reasoning to it, too.
That's true, a little bit, but it's not much. I was just looking at gunbot.net, right. In fact, literally before we came on the air, we were just talking about it, and found 10 mm ammo for 42 cents a round for hollow point. That's not bad. Oh. So, I don't know. But, what the heck, it's different. It's kind of fun to own something that's different. Here's the thing, and here's, I guess, the bottom line on this is you can buy it and shoot it and enjoy it, and when you don't want it anymore, you can sell it, and you don't have to have it forever.
True.
There you go. All right. Well, do me a favor. If you buy it, call us back and give us a report, okay?
Will do.
All right. Sounds good. I appreciate the call, sir. You know, I had a friend say, look, you know, you going to buy this thing? I said, yeah, I just don't know if I want to spend that much money. He says, all right, if you bought it and you needed to sell it, could you sell it? I said, well, yeah, I might have to drop the price a little bit. He says, well, could you stand the difference in price? I said, yeah. He says, well, then you're not on the hook for the whole price. You're only on the hook for the difference. Oh, okay. By the way, just got an email from somebody who says, I'm really surprised to hear that when your dad died, you sold his gun collection. Never said I sold his entire gun collection. Just said we just sold some of the guns. We kept the ones we wanted and we sold the ones we didn't. We worked with the guys over at Dury's Guns, and they were really good. If you got to sell a gun, I cannot recommend anybody hire. Those guys really, truly know what the heck they're doing, okay? 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.
Successful hunters know big bucks move early and late, often when it's too dark for common scopes. When that monster steps out, you might see him through the scope, but the crosshairs disappear. All that work and you can't take the shot. But with the Trijicon AccuPoint scope, you'll get the shot. Its bright aiming point glows in daylight or darkness. No batteries needed. AccuPoint scopes are water-resistant and nitrogen-filled, feature multi-layer coated lenses for the brightest image, and you can adjust brightness of the aiming point to match the conditions. Adding 10 or 15 minutes to each end of the day can double the magic moments when the trophies move. You can't hit the target if you can't see the sights. Trijicon AccuPoint scopes. Check out the different models at Trijicon.com or call 1-800-338-0563. Brilliant aiming solutions from Trijicon.
Brownells proudly celebrates 75 years of history and heritage as the world's first choice for firearms, accessories, ammunition, and gunsmithing tools. So whether you're a gunsmith in need of parts and supplies, a new shooter looking for the perfect holster, or a skilled competitor seeking the latest gear, Brownells has what you need. And best of all, every purchase comes with the industry's only forever satisfaction guarantee. Visit us at Brownells.com.
You already know Liberty safes are great values. Now they're offering an even sweeter deal for Gun Talk listeners. At LibertySafe.com, click on the Fat Boy safe and type in Tom. Liberty will give you up to $250 off your purchase. Protect the things you value most. LibertySafe.com, click the Fat Boy safe, promo code Tom, save up to $250. That's LibertySafe.com. LibertySafe.com.
The Ruger SR45, a large caliber pistol with a trim, ergonomic profile. Like the popular Ruger SR9 and SR40, the SR45 is perfectly sized to be comfortable and controllable with the slim, ergonomic grip and narrow slide. It features an adjustable 3-dot sight system, Ruger's unique reversible back strap, an ambidextrous manual safety and magazine release, and built-in Picatinny rail. The Ruger SR45, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
Got gun talk? As we've said for years, be sure and say thanks. Call your local station, or if you see them out and about, let them know you appreciate your gun talk. As for the version we won't broadcast, stick around and participate in the Gun Talk After Show. If you're on hold, tie a knot and hang on a little longer with the Gun Talk crew. Tom, Jim, Michelle, Michael, and you. We'll tackle stuff we don't cover on the airwaves. Speaking of the airwaves version, though, here's Tom.
All righty, back with you here. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. Let's see here. Let's go to line 3. DL is calling in from Texas. Hey, DL.
Hey, what's going on?
You saw the same emails I saw about these history books. They're getting it wrong on the Second Amendment.
Right, and the way this was presented, this was a talk show out of San Antonio that I listened to, and I don't get real good reception with them, but what I understood, and I believe he said the state of Illinois the grade school history book was teaching that the right to bear arms was only certain types of guns if they are registered.
Yeah, they twisted it around. They've got a lot of the anti-gun phrasing in this thing. So, I agree with you. Look, I appreciate the call. Thank you, sir. We have to be alert on all fronts. When they write in the children's history books that the Second Amendment means that the militia can own guns, or they say that you can own guns that are registered, we have to call them on it. We have to be reading our children's and our grandchildren's history books. We have to flip to the part about the Constitution and see what it says about the Second Amendment. Okay? I mean, that we have to do that. That's part of us doing our due diligence. That's part of us being alert. That's part of our Truth Squad idea of never letting a lie go unchallenged. And when you find it, at that point, you dig in and you never give up. You get it taken out. You get the book taken out, or you have all the copies picked up, and you have all of them marked out, that part, and have a new phrasing put in there because it's wrong. And you go to the school board and you do whatever it has to be done to get it corrected. Not next year, right now. You can't let them teach out of that book anymore. Not the way it is. We just have to do that. It's real simple. Line 2, Ray is in Elmira, New York. Hey, Ray.
Howdy, Tom. Second Amendment. Well-regulated militia. Do you realize that that's us?
Yep.
Me and you?
Yep.
And well-regulated. They tried to twist this around forever. But, in fact, go back to the time when that was written. Well-regulated meant that you were capable of loading, aiming, and firing your weapon proficiently.
Yep, I mean, that's all it is. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That says the right of the people, not the right of the state, not the right of the government, not the right of the National Guard. And you know what? That's old news now because the Supreme Court has ruled more than once that this is an individual right, and they actually said this is not a right that was given to us. It was not granted to us by the Constitution. It was a right that pre-existed the Constitution. It was a right we have. It's called a natural right. And all the Constitution, the Bill of Rights did is confirm it and reaffirm it and stake it out and say, this is an area that you have to keep your cotton-picking mitts off. The government can't mess with this area. Because before the foundation of this country, and before we agree to this new governmental idea we have here, we have to make sure you understand that we have this right coming into it. You're not giving it to us. So that's the Second Amendment. Oh, man. Did you see this news about the U.S. Senate? Looks like it's going to back off on President Obama's nomination for Surgeon General. Thank goodness. This guy, Dr. Vivek Murthy, he's an internalist and a political ally of the president, nominated for the Surgeon General. He has some pretty extreme views on guns. He thinks that doctors and the medical community should be involved in pushing for gun regulation and gun control. The NRA was not going to score this vote. That is, they were not going to hold it against anybody. And they got pushed, frankly. I don't know why they weren't. But as soon as the NRA said, we're going to score this vote, in other words, we're going to publicize how you vote on this issue, about 10 Democrats ran for governor, pulled the covers over their head, and screamed for their mommies, saying, please, 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 please do not score me on this. I'm running for re-election in the midterms. I can't possibly be seen as being anti-gun, even though I am. The Begiches, the Landrews, the folks who are pretending to be centrists now because they're running for re-election when they're super leftists, good for the NRA. They should be scoring on all these votes. You want to know why you need to belong to the NRA? There you go.
Join the NRA via Tom Gresham's Gun Talk website and receive $10 off the regular membership price. Log on to guntalk.com for details. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Just because we're wrapping up on the air doesn't mean we're done talking about guns. Stick around for the after show. It's our podcast-only version designed to include all the stuff we simply couldn't fit into a regular show. Call in now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, back to Tom.
I want to hit you with several stories out of the news real quickly. The Obama administration is proposing a ban on the domestic sale of ivory. Why do you care? Well, here's the deal. A lot of guns have ivory in them. If you cannot confirm and document that ivory is at least 100 years old, you will not be able to sell that gun. If you have ivory grip panels on your 1911, you will not be able to sell that gun with those ivory grip panels. If you have ivory on a knife and you cannot document that the ivory is more than 100 years old under this new law, you would not be able to sell that knife. It's horrible. It's a bad idea, and it's not going to save a single elephant. Would you make a Truth Squad call on this? Call the White House on this? You can also call and email the Fish and Wildlife Service. The White House number is 202-456-1111. Fish and Wildlife Service, 800-344-9453. If you miss those, you can pick them up on the podcast. Also, be sure to call your United States Representative and Senator. Tell them the same thing. By the way, your Senator and Representative numbers are in your local phone book. You remember what a phone book looks like? Speaking of that, call your U.S. Senators, both of them, and tell them, I was talking about the Surgeon General nomination. It's not over. It's still out there. We have to call every senator's office and say, I do not want you to confirm Dr. Murthy, M-U-R-T-H-Y. Just call them. Again, phone number's in your local phone book. Call your senator's office and say, I want you to oppose the nomination, the confirmation of Dr. Murthy as the U.S. Surgeon General because of his views on gun control and the fact that he would use his position to push for more gun control. Worth 2 to 5 minutes of your time, I would hope. I hope it will. I hope it would be worth that to you. Out of Delaware, Supreme Court has ruled that public housing cannot ban gun ownership. They had rules there that said if you live in the housing area, you can't have any guns. The court says, no, you can't do that. That's a gun ban. You can't have a total gun ban. Now, the courts have said you can ban certain guns, but you still have to allow people to own guns under the Second Amendment. So things are going on there. Okay, there are a lot of things happening at a lot of different places. It's difficult to stay up on top of it. That's my job. I will help you do that. If you will, again, it's free. Go over to Twitter and follow me on Twitter. I'm at Gun Talk. These are the stories that I'm putting out every day, day after day after day. So you would know what's going on. You'll be plugged in. Because people say, how do I know? Well, that's one way you know. You listen to the show here. You follow me on Twitter. You become a member of the True Squad. It's free. We're not going to bug you. We're not going to sell your name. We don't give your name away. We just don't, okay? But you have to make the commitment. It's on you. True Squad's real simple. A lie left unchallenged becomes the truth. Our deal is we do not leave any lies unchallenged. When we see it, we speak up. When we hear it, we speak up. When they're doing the wrong thing, we speak up. We're not going to shrug anymore and just say, that's just the way it is. That's not what we do. Not True Squad members. We need your help. Go to guntalk.com. You can sign up there. It's free, okay? In the meantime, we're going to be cranking up the after show here. You can download that on iTunes, Stitcher, or other places. Go to guntalk.com/listen, and you can actually find out how to listen to the after show. Meantime, go out and do some shooting. Take a newbie with you. Introduce them to this great sport. Be safe and watch that muzzle.